Namaste, it's the Spiritual Daywalker, hashtag Schrodinger's cards, with your tarot card reading for the next full moon phase from 12th until 27th of August. This one is going to be in Aquarius, so Taurus, where you in the past have been experiencing what types of people are actually using your energy and what are actually incorporating your energy, so where you truly are of service and not just wasting your energy. Now this Aquarius full moon's probably shed light on to the, well, mindsets that you are entertaining that are not as healthy as you thought they would be, right? So some that are keeping you caged or just in routines that are actually semi-healthy for you. Not every routine is a good thing, you know? Well, you do know. You're probably very routine in ways that you don't even actually realize. There's some, like, just some things. You're always doing a different thing, but you're always doing the thing in the same manner. Does that make sense? Like, you're not always going to the same cafe, but you're always going to a cafe and probably mixing it up. And mixing it up is also part of that routine. So it is on, like, this routines that I'm talking about when I'm talking about earth signs, especially Taurus. They're subtle, they're on the meta level, right? I'm not saying that you always do the same stuff. No. But there is an underlying structure to it, and you care about underlying structure. So the Aquarius energy coming from that full moon is going to shed light on the structures on those meta levels, right? That being said, this is a general reading, so if the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If it does, drop a comment, like, subscribe, and share to others that might enjoy this style of reading. Also, I don't do love readings. If love comes up in a reading, that is on you, but life is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I don't want you to project anything into your reality that is not supposed to be there just because I say so. All right, let's get into your reading. It's going to be a DNA spread. Right, that's little like a tree of life spread with the energies balancing around the spirit axis in the middle that is describing your inner metamorphosis through this experience. Well, in the spot of the zero, your soul decided to make itself known. There is the moon card and it's in reverse, so something coming to light about subconscious structures, right? And since it's in Aquarius, it's not exactly about the people around you, but rather about the truth that, or the mindsets and belief systems, all that stuff that you entertain, that you think keep you afloat, and where they're coming from, right? You're actually going to realize something about your subconscious, why you are doing things the way you do them. And with that new gained knowledge about yourself and your own inner structure, you can then reevaluate those systems that you have in place, right? In the spot of the 9, there's a Father of Cups, so it's about love and it's about like standing in for your emotions. But I feel that this is, well, since it's the moon in reverse and in the spot of the 9 there's a Father of Cups, it could be some parental issues, right? So it could be tied to how you were experiencing love from a masculine source, or not exactly male, but masculine, like the love that has been shown to you progressively, like yeah, that has been given to you in an active, progressive way. So you are gonna revisit why you are doing things the way you're doing things, because in the past that was the way for you to trigger those gifts of love, right? So stepping into your own self-love and into your power about your emotionality, that is going to be the challenge for this metamorphosis, right? You standing tall as a Father of Cups, realizing things about your own emotional structure and how you are triggered and how you, well, work with that, right? You being vulnerable and being okay with it, being very mature about it, so no worries is going to come less than no, it's not going to be a painful experience in that sense. It's going to be enlightening about how you work as an individual, and that for you as a Taurus, right, that's the truth you are looking for actually, right? How does the individual work and how can we work with that? That is a very interesting thing. So let's see how, coming further into manifestation, this plays out. 1, 2 of Swords seems like, well, 2 of Swords is my card for coping mechanisms, so I kind of rest my case right here, right? So you revisiting those coping mechanisms, it seems that it's not exactly a bad card, right? It is you protecting yourself, right? Through mindsets, you protecting yourself and your intuition and what you stand for and all that stuff, until you realize, wait a minute, right? So some routines and instinctive behavior is going to pop up in your reality, you reacting instinctively, and then getting you back into that Father of Cups, realizing, hey, wait, why do I react like that? Could it be that Father of Cups? Yeah, probably is. So let's see how the experience balances around the middle. In the spot of the one, there's the 7 of Wands. So you feeling a little left alone, but carrying the weight, like you as a Taurus pulling the cart, right? Standing like very much in your sense of individuality, and like feeling left alone in there is not exactly a bad feeling. It's you feeling very capable. You know, this energy is you feeling very capable to pull it off, whatever it is you're trying to pull off here, right? So that's a cool energy to be in. Then it's balanced by the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is a sense of intuition and like stillness also, right? So within this 7 of Wands energy, which is very powerful, and you standing up for yourself and standing for what you believe in, the High Priestess is kind of asking you, yeah, but what do you believe in and why, actually? So the High Priestess is kind of rattling that 7 of Wands, making you look away from that fire energy into what is igniting that fire. So in the middle right here, I want to see, there's a World card right underneath the Moon. This is very pivotal for you. The World is bookending like a very pivotal cycle, that is your soul getting to the bottom of something, right? And you realizing something about you and about your character, after which you're not going to be the same person anymore. You're going to be more balanced, more feel more capable, and more in tune with your true self. So that's a very beautiful thing, but it's coming from you, from a very strong fire energy, like you bursting in that 7 of Wands, in that flame, right? And then realizing, wait a minute, what does this show about myself? There's could be anger, could be just some getting rattled up, or just a sense of, fuck no, I'm not doing this, right? Which is not exactly anger, but is you like, well, shutting down, shutting off, or fending off something, right? So it's already tied to that 2 of Swords down here in the manifestation. And you're gonna, I feel like something is grinding your gears, and you're gonna quite soon realize why. And that this grinding your gears is only there for you to realize something about yourself, what you want to do differently. It doesn't mean that the situation that is grinding your gears is a good situation, or that you weren't in the right with that 7 of Wands, right? It's just that the situation is a trigger point for you. So you're gonna be triggered, but you're gonna, you are already in that energy of something coming to light. So the Moon into the High Priestess, that's very beautiful, because the moment it comes up, it's already quite clear to you what is happening. That's why the World card is up here in the soul space, where you're like, aha, so what do I do with this insight about myself now? Let's see, in this line of the challenge surrounding the Father of Cups, there's the Empress in reverse, which is interesting, and the Fool in reverse. So it feels like coming from the High Priestess, and the 7 of Wands right here. So the 7 of Wands going into a Fool in reverse, and the High Priestess going into an Empress in reverse, which is like an active and a passive part that are surrounding that Father of Cups in the middle. So it's so funny, you coming from the Fool, coming from the World, the next thing is the Fool. Like the World is the last card in the tarot, and the Fool is the very first card in the tarot. So this is so beautiful that you are closing out the cycle within you. Then you realize, okay, something has to happen in my reality that is going along with that, that is setting myself up anew, right? But then this new setup is a little delayed. That's why they're in reverse, right? Because you have to clear out that cycle, and you know that. The moment it triggers you, you know that. You have to get rid of whatever it is, or have to work with whatever it is that comes up in your reality, like comes up within you, and so it can show in your reality, so you can step into another chapter of your being, right? So the Fool and the Empress, that's like the progressive and the receptive force that are both kind of delayed, because the High Priestess knows something is happening, knows that it's all for the better, knows how to look at the moon with like an objective way of looking at yourself and be like, okay, this is how I work, interesting. So how do I clear that so I can move out of my shell, move into a new chapter of my life? Now let's see further into manifestation, what you're doing with that energy. The Fool merges into death, which is beautiful, because that's transformation. That's the transformation that needs to happen for the Fool to get going. That is you clearing out that world cycle in the physical, right? So you're realizing something about yourself, and then you realize what has to go for you to let go of that. Imagine you have like you get a trigger for something, and you realize that emotion is tied to a certain object or to a certain situation that you or a routine that you over and over recall, and then you realize, shit, to let go of that idea, of that rattlement, anger, of that trigger, I need to let go of that object or situation or routine. So that is you realizing something in your spirit about how you actually want to be or not be anymore, and then seeing that in your reality and being like, ah, shit, okay, maybe I need to clean that up so the energy can let go of me, right? So you can move forward. And the Empress is going into a Father of Swords in reverse. So it's probably a mindset, right? And a Father of Swords in reverse linked to a Father of Cups, which is in the spot of the 9, so that Father of Cups is linked to everything on the table, right? The Father of Cups, like the fatherly love in a sense, right? And the emotional maturity is tied to everything on the board. So the Father of Swords in reverse, balancing or working with the Death card right here, means that some idea about that fatherly love, some misconception about that fatherly love has to go. So if we stick to the narrative of the father, it's something like coming to terms with why they did what they did, because actually they were trying something different, they just kind of fucked it up, and it was well intentioned, right? But then taking that narrative further is like, love doesn't always have to be provided like that, right? So it's losing a mindset about that, and something that has stuck with you for a long time, because it's rooted in the moon right here, right? That's where it's coming from. So it's very subconscious, deeply driven into your character. And then after all of this, realizing that some conception about that, like that Father of Swords, that is some conception that you were holding on to because you thought it was a logical thing to do, very, very deeply rooted within you. And it has to go, right? That's that High Priestess being like, you know, something has to shift within how you think about this love given to you at a very early age. So that's beautiful. That's very beautiful. You coming to terms, that's a makeup, right? That is very, very, very beautiful what is going on there, right? So in the spot of the 6, you learning, oh, you're coming out of your shell. That's the Hermit. That's the Hermit in reverse. So after learning all of this, you're coming out of your shell. You're coming out of your shell with this like, hey, I understood something. I understood that this Father of Swords was just trying to protect me, but he wasn't exactly right. I understood about the emotional implications of this, right? And you will have emotionally matured so much that you can come out of your learning phase, out of that hermit shell, out of that feeling alone in this, realizing you're not alone. Everybody got their issues, right? Even authority figures or systems that you held a great deal of, like that you were idealizing in a sense, or demonizing in a sense, whatever. They all got their issues. They're all coming from somewhere. And you letting that frustration go, or letting that strong beliefs about this go, that is you coming out of your shell and then realizing something about this Two of Swords right here, right? So how you always tried to protect yourself against something that was not exactly made up. No, it was just like these thoughts. You don't need them anymore, right? They are kind of outdated. You want to grow past that, right? And they were well-intentioned. Also, you were well-intentioned to protect yourself in a sense. So it very much seems to me like these are father issues. Now keep in mind that it doesn't have to be your father. It is an authority figure, right? And someone that had a progressive authority over you. But it's very much deeply rooted in your being, and all the decisions you made in your life were somehow influenced by how this authority figure showed its love, right? Or appreciation. It can also be a system that we're like a patriarchal system where you're like, well, they never really accepted me for who I am, so why should anyone? Yeah, well, they couldn't, right? They couldn't. They were the Father of Swords in reverse. They tried to implement a structure which they thought was the truth, but they're actually just overly controlling because they were deep in their shit. And you realizing that, letting go of that trigger point, right? That is going to enable you to step into your Fool and into your Empress and start that new beginning, trusting your intuition again, because your intuition is not blocked by coping mechanisms anymore. Not like that, right? So this is very pivotal, and it seems like something about you dealing with authority coming to light. It's like, yeah, you do love routines, right? But maybe some educational system put you in, like, got some routines going that are actually not working for you, or you're doing them, or you have been doing them with like a different intention, a wrong intention in mind, right? So you do love routines, but when you're trying to uphold them to please someone else instead of your inner child, that's when shit gets a little toxic and frustrating in the end, right? And not so much rewarding. The moment you realize, wait, I've been always doing this because blah, that's when you can work with that. And I don't mean like cut the routines, I mean like realize why you are doing shit. And then maybe you want to do it differently, right? Maybe you want to like put in a new routine that is kind of fulfilling your inner drive to work and go for it, and you know, but with a different intention in mind. That is you stepping into your Father of Swords, into like pure compassion mode, right? That is compassion right here. That is showing someone compassion, showing someone vulnerability and understanding for their vulnerability and imperfections and all that stuff. So deep shit happening here, Taurus. Wow, I'm very fucking proud of you, because no worries, this is going to be very uplifting in a sense, right? Something triggering you, but the moment the trigger comes in, you already realize that something big is happening here, and how to go about this. Like, I have to wrap my head around this really and understand what's going on, and this, you're gonna feel this pivotal shift totally from the beginning, and working through it in a very, very mature manner. So don't be alarmed. It's going to be very freeing, exciting, right? Like a weight has been lifted, and you're coming to terms with that authority in your life. It's interesting that there is no emperor, but like we got two fathers in here, right? And in spots where it really matters. And over all of this, there is the moon in reverse. So yeah, the full moon in Aquarius is going to shed some light, and the moment it moves into Pisces, that's when you hit that Father of Cups, being all like, okay, let's do this, let's be vulnerable, let's be available, right? And you're going to see it's going to turn out beautifully, right? You're going to feel real capable through it. Beautiful. Taurus, I'm so proud of you already, right? Because your soul's already there. Your reality has to catch up, and you're making all the right decisions as it seems. That is so, so beautiful. Taurus, if that resonated with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe, show it to some other person you like, think could enjoy this reading style, whatever. And just enjoy this energy. That is beautiful. Check out daywalker-bali.com, keep track, and yeah, let me know how it went, right? Taurus, I love you.